Next, I'd like to introduce a man who doesn't need an introduction, Jonathan Schwartz, who's actually a popular figure with our patients. He's a rock star, so I'll let you take it away, Jonathan. Thank you.
Rocket, we contain multitudes. There are organizations that are relatively simple, straightforward, unidimensional. Rocket is not one of those. You can think about our CEO and co-founder, Gaurav, who, in addition to running a company devoted to really revolutionizing and advancing medication for some of the most complex disorders ever described, has been known to dabble in music. Or thinking about our own organization, we made a commitment quite some time ago, and I think are fulfilling it, not to be content with just focused on one platform or one therapeutic area. And really, we're the only gene therapy company that has this widespread lentiviral and AAV, hematology, immunology, cardiovascular platform. We try to bridge a lot, and it's rarely simple or single-minded. I think it's quite fitting that our afternoon speaker is somebody who is also really renowned for bridging many different worlds, and doing so quite successfully, while also maintaining an essential core and focus, despite the multitudinous efforts that he's known for, and that is our guest, David Nichtern. He is the founder, CEO, and lead teacher of Dharma Moon, which is an organization that is devoted to teaching Buddhism and meditation. David has also been an extremely successful business consultant, and has worked with a broad range of organizations, ranging from Om Births to law firms to Goldman Sachs, a bastion of contemplative selflessness. And when not consulting for business, David is an author of several books, including Creativity, Spirituality, and Making a Buck. Did I mention he consults for Goldman Sachs? He's additionally very accomplished in the music world and has founded record companies, successful record companies, and is himself a composer and accomplished guitarist. He's recorded with Stevie Wonder, Jerry Garcia, Paul Simon, among others. My particular favorite element of his musical career is that he is the composer of the 1974 hit Midnight at the Oasis, which Maria Muldaur recorded and was number 6 on the Billboard chart that year. It's a staple of any yacht rock playlist, and I hope you all have a yacht rock playlist. So, very much in the spirit of Rocket, please welcome David Nichtern.
What can I say after that? Jonathan, thank you so much. Latika, for inviting me. Some of you I have met before online. We did a little mindfulness meditation course for the team at Rocket. It's probably good to just say that the way I'm here really is that Gaurav is my friend. But there's more to it than that. The company that we have, Dharma Moon, used to be one of my record labels, and it was for world music, and Gaurav and his wife, Falu, were artists on my label. So that's how we met. We met through music, and then we just naturally started talking about other things in meditation. So I feel like I'm part of the Rocket family. I'm happy to be with you here today and share your world. It was very powerful, Altaf, to hear your story. Thank you for sharing that. And I think probably all of us could identify that we're, like you, all vulnerable to, as Latika put it, the winds of change. And the only reason I became a Buddhist 50 years ago is because the way that I learned about it made complete sense to me. So I just want to say, if there's a Buddhist foundation underneath what we're talking about today, it's really universal. It's not as a particular religion or a particular tradition. It's just what's true in our lives. And I thought it might be interesting to just give a credit to Buddha as was called the great physician. I don't know if anybody knew that or not. So, and he was really a diagnostician, and the diagnosis was that human beings are subject to exactly what we just heard about and experienced. All of us are subject to impermanence, to uncertainty, to vulnerability, to the preciousness of human life, how precious it is, and also some natural sense of inquiry, trying to learn more about who we are, how we can optimize our life, how we can make the most of each day, each moment, and live fully. So it's not one of those traditions that gives you answers that you plug in. It's not a plug and play, you know. And Buddha was kind of famous for saying, your guess is as good as mine. Even on his own deathbed, he actually said that to his followers. Well, you figure it out now. What kind of teacher is that, Gaurav? You know. But in doing that, we have access to some tools, some resources. A good teacher, I think, is somebody who tools up their students and gives them resources and things that they can use. It's interesting to contemplate that in the medical world. How can we provide tools for people to optimize their health as well as treating illness? So I'm sure everybody shares that perspective. We're looking for a deep understanding of how the human body works. But in my case, sort of bringing in another little piece of the puzzle is how does the mind work? And the difference perhaps between the meditation approach and others is it's internal. We actually work with our own mind directly. So you could say you're the doctor and you're the patient at the same time, which is an interesting situation. We feel that one of the great tools that we have is directly looking at the nature of our mind. And that's sometimes called meditation, mindfulness, all kinds of things. And it's, to my not complete surprise, over the last 50 years, has become wildly popular. I wasn't sure it was going to stick in the West. The idea of, first of all, getting Westerners to sit still and just be quiet for a minute is, you know, any of you have children with iPhones? Yeah. So this is innovative in itself, just to leave some time and space. And also, the quality of the inquiry is without judgment, which is an unusual kind of awareness that we don't always bring to the situation. Can you look at the activity of your own mind without trying to manipulate it, finesse it, improve it, which expresses a certain kind of basic dissatisfaction with how things are. So we take a naive look. It's almost like a child. And we give some element of something that you could use to come back to. Because one of the things that we'll notice right away about our own mind is it's traveling, it's wandering, it's going into the past, it's going into the future. It's pretty active in terms of energetically. Our minds are pretty active. So when you sit, the first thing you're going to notice is, wow, my mind is like, well, they call it monkey mind, just swinging from branch to branch. I updated that a little bit to spaghetti mind, because it's just like strands all over the place. And then for the literate people in the group, James Joyce mind. And if you know James Joyce, it's just stream of consciousness, blah, 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 blah. Every once in a while, there's a highlight, which we call an emotion. Gee, I'm really not happy about my job. I think I need, to move. My parents were mean to me. There's a certain intensity in the thought process. But just seeing it as it is really is very liberating, without trying to change it. And we call this making friends with yourself. So whether you're in a challenging situation physically, which all of us will be, you pointed that out quite clearly, this is just what is going to happen to everybody, one version or another. Or if we're challenged, emotionally, the resource we have is being able to ride what we call the horse of mind with the saddle of mindfulness. We have the ability to stabilize our own mind. And the benefit of this practice is said to be to create clarity, greater clarity, stability, balance. And also, I think the most useful one that we're going to talk about today is resilience. Because when it's challenging, you better have something in the bank account as far as strength goes. That's the wrong time to start building up the strength. So in our daily life, we start to do some kind of practice where we're connecting with the potential strength of our own attention and clarity of mind. And you're building a bank account there. How do we talk about this in the modern world? Well, what's the opposite of this is stress, anxiety, tension, panic. And everybody knows about those things. Speed, greed, societal imbalance, ecological imbalance. These are all from us being out of balance with ourselves. That's where they come from. So I thought we could just start together, spend a little time. I know you've had a lot of input today, and it's amazing information. And I have so much respect for each one of you and the role that you're playing in terms of helping people be better. That's called being a bodhisattva in the Buddhist tradition. You're helping people. That's the best thing you can do with this life as far as we're concerned. You be of service. But in order to do that, you need to have your own strength. That's the point. It's called cleaning the broom, Gaurav. We call it cleaning the broom. And the tool here is ancient, and billions of people have worked on perfecting the method of this. And it is elegantly simple, as many good solutions are, which is just to enter your body, actually. Feel yourself in your own body. Take your seat. Put down the distractions for a minute. Let everything go for a minute. It'll be there when you come back. And feel a good posture, because we have a kind of noble posture as human beings. We can sit up, and there's a lot of energy that gets liberated when we take a good posture. And just feel embodied, like you're actually here right now. Touch in on that feeling. And you can keep your eyes open for this. People think we're not going on some desert cruise of the mind. There's no yacht, you should have a yacht playlist, but it's even better to have a yacht. You see what I'm saying? So this is your yacht right here. It might look like a dinghy, but it's really it's as noble as you want to make it, right? So you take your seat, and then the second stage is to just place your attention somewhere. It's wandering, right? It's all over here, it's there. Just to feel your breath going in and out of your body. Okay, so you can just place your attention on your breathing. And even just for now, just take 3 breaths and actually feel them. Let's just do that together. This actually does have the benefit of calming your nervous system. There's been a lot of research on this since we have quite a few scientists here. You can do the check out on your own, but mindfulness has been sort of shown to have certain psychophysical benefit. But you can just feel it also. You're sitting, you've given yourself some space, you feel the breath going in and out of your body. So then you notice, well, wait a minute. How much time is left on this thing? Is that telling me how much time is left? And yeah, I don't know. Is the driver going to come and pick me up after this is over? And gee, I don't have any food left at home. I'm going to have to go out shopping when I get there. And maybe I could go see my granddaughter Izzy in Brooklyn, or I don't know. Maybe I should go straight home before that. And all of a sudden you recognize, my mind just left the building. You'll see it. You will see that happen. And the whole point is, don't get mad. Don't try to get even, and don't try to control it. Just notice it. That's something we rarely do. And you label it thinking. You say, I'm thinking, okay. And then come back to the breath. So this is the only time in your day you're going to do something this simple and elegant. But let's try it a little bit and see what happens. And then maybe we can have a little exchange about it. So the first step was what? Anybody remember? What was it? Take your seat. It's your seat, you take it, occupy it. Second step? Well, that's sort of part of the first step. That's good. Yeah, just a general sense of body awareness. But what was the second step, Gaurav? Pay attention to your breath. Place your attention on the breathing. That's where you can focus your attention. Just at the tip of the nose is okay, or you can feel your stomach rising and falling. Just be a good scientist. Just be with that experience, see what it is, and don't try to analyze it further. Just experience it. You can feel that cool breeze at the tip of your nose. And anybody remember the third step? Say it louder. That's the second one. We didn't say disconnect with your thoughts. They're going to come and go like clouds. But if you notice those thoughts, just label it thinking, and then come back to the breath. Right, that's pretty close. Right. So you'll wander and you'll come back. Okay? So I'm going to give us 3 minutes here. And don't worry, nothing's going to happen to you. You'll still be here. So if we could just try it for 3 minutes. See what happens. So when you notice your mind wandering, just label it thinking, just say thinking, and then bring your attention back to breathing. Normal breath. Okay. So you are all doing so well that I threw an extra minute in there. This practice is becoming more and more prominent in our culture as we speak. Of course, a lot of it's being communicated through apps and kind of, organized around the principle of stress relief and sleeping better, sort of solving problems. And that's fine, but it's also a way to discover who we are on a very deep level. So you can look at it either way, as a resource. It definitely will help you calm down and create some kind of space in your life. If you practice like this for 15 or 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week, there's a lot of evidence that it's going to shift the dynamic of your existence in a positive way. So I think that's a little taste of that. I also am going to talk a little about a loving kindness practice, because this is just a foundational practice for how to just settle your mind. And thought I'd like to see if there's any questions from anybody. Have a little dialogue. Do we have a mic that we could pass around? Is there something like that? So we can hear you? Anybody have a question? Comment? Comments are good too. This is your chance to actually participate. There you go. Okay, there's a gentleman there. Can you wait for the mic?
Can you hear me?
No, with the mic. We'll
Hello?
hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I would like to know, in your experience, recently how well the adoption of these practices in a corporate environment during the workday. Not at home, but
Yeah.
during the meetings or conferences.
I think it's the most positive virus on the face of the earth right at this moment. So wherever. And at Dharma Moon, we have a teacher training program, and our teachers go out and they work in corporate environments. They work in sports training, yoga, prisons, hospitals, medical facilities. So I think it has the potential to just give a little bit of resource to everybody, wherever they are, whatever they're doing, to just settle down a little bit, quiet down a little bit, touch in with themselves a little bit, maybe learn a little bit more about yourself a little bit. And, you know, if it was my company, I would say, yeah, we're going to start the day, if anybody wants to, there's going to be a 10-minute sit in the cafeteria. I don't know, that's happening in certain places. It's not a religious thing. You're not imposing any kind of ritual on anybody. That's why it's called mindfulness. It's universal. And just create space. We're all so busy, don't you think? I don't know anybody, if I ask them how they are, they say, I'm too busy. I don't know a single person. Do you? Are you too busy? Okay. Yeah, so I think it's already very penetrated into the corporate environment, and it's just a matter of being skillfully introduced so that a lot of times there's too much information given when this topic is introduced, like do it this way and hold your things this way and hold your hands that way. And, you know, it's just keeping it very simple and bare, you know, like kind of fundamental is, I think, the way to go. That's how we're trying to train people. Nothing fancy, but create some space for it. Do you meditate?
Not specifically.
Okay. My prescription doctor is try it, everybody. If you want to see what this is like, and there's no, it's unlike the ads, I'm sorry, probably shouldn't be saying this here, for pharmaceuticals on television, where after they tell you what's good for you, then they tell you 30 things that it's going to do that are side effects. This has no side effects. Okay, anybody else? Somebody? Yeah.
Just more of a comment. When you started to talk about sitting down, posture, I took a peek at my heart rate. It was 84. And then 3 minutes into the process, it dropped down to 62. So I could see the effect. And right now it's back up to 82. So, so it seems like it works.
Yeah. You know, you can tell I'm not a scientist, I hope, right? Because I could fool other people, making them think I'm a scientist, but not this group. So, but there's been a lot of research on this at this point. You all would know how to find it. There's a lot of verification from a simple medical scientific point of view about the benefits of mindfulness meditation. So, yeah, and it's, there are other interesting things like, you know, actually neuroscience, you know, that it affects brain function in some significant and interesting ways. So you could do your own research on that. That's not my jam to you know, talk about that. But the best way is just you go rely on your own personal experience. Like, I think that's one of the things that you were saying, Alpef, that you weren't paying attention to your own experience enough. Is that fair to say? Yeah. So, and you're bypassing your own experience in order to, you know, and had to go out and around. So you should feel yourself when you meditate. You should feel your physical state, your psychological state, but no judgment. That's another, and it's not necessarily an analytic process. It's more a sensing process. You learn how to sense your internal environment more. And that makes you a very sensitive, caring caretaker.
My question had to do with.
Yeah,
are
can you turn the mic
Sure.
on?
Are you finding that Western medicine has become more accepting of the practice of mindfulness?
Yeah, I think so. What do you think?
Not as much as they should.
Not as much as they should? Okay, well, we got, 300 influencers right here, and it's a funny thing. Buddhists are very low sales quotient. Here it is. It's a soft sell, I call it, there's starting to be a hard sell with it, and I started calling it the spiritual industrial complex because it's becoming, and some people are calling it McMindful. But, there are benefits. And therefore, why would we deprive ourselves of that, of at least exploring that in different contexts? I can tell you this, it's big in sports. Djokovic, best tennis player in the world, serious meditator. He's the best salesman you could ever have if you wanted to pitch to a bunch of sports, a bunch of athletes. So, yeah, and it doesn't have to be a proselytizing thing or a culty thing or a club thing. Just give people space to collect themselves, sit down, be quiet, be peaceful for a while, and feel into it, and then go about your business that way. So the other part of mindfulness is how do you conduct your daily life post-meditation. So we like to say there's meditation for 20 minutes a day and post-meditation for 23 hours and 40 minutes a day. And the same principle can be brought to bear. You actually bring your attention back to where you are, what you're doing, and it allows the panic to not accumulate. The momentum doesn't accumulate. So thank you for bringing that up. Any other thoughts? No. Thank you. Maybe one more, and then we'll talk a little bit about loving kindness.
Hi. That's a bit of a personal question. What was your inspirational trigger to Buddhism?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that again, please? I can't see who that is. Could you raise your hand?
I'm
whoever you
here, on the other side.
are? The lights are really bright.
Right.
On this side, okay.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, the lights are just completely
Okay,
blinding
no
up
problem.
here.
I was just wondering.
I see you. Okay,
That's
thank
a
you.
bit of a personal question. What was your inspirational trigger to Buddhism?
Why did I get into it?
If there was something,
Yeah,
a specific action.
It's been a similar inspiration from almost everything that I've done, that you heard Jonathan talk about, just a complete accident, coincidence. I was in Boston going to the Berklee College of Music. I was studying yoga at a studio there, which was all the thing at that point. And a Tibetan Buddhist meditation teacher came through that studio and presented a talk, sort of like this. It's the same way you're experiencing it, which is, you probably didn't plan on this. So we call it auspicious coincidence. It's the same way I went into a club one night with a friend, and Falguni and Gaurav's wife was singing there, and I went like, well, who the heck is that? So it was a coincidence that then made sense, a coincidence that makes sense.
Thank you.
How about you?
This can be one. This meeting can be one.
Yeah, it could happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we're paying attention, and then usually coincidence favors those who are awake.
True.
That's an interesting aspect of it. Like, that's how a lot of the cures that you all are developing are probably going to happen. Some kind of coincidence is going to occur, and you'll be paying attention, and you'll notice it.
Yes. And
Makes
sometimes
sense?
specific words saying in a different context brings sense to the same words spoken in different contexts.
I'm sorry, it's very hard to hear from that mic. Could somebody just repeat what you said?
That
Latika,
just-
do you understand it?
The same words pronounced in a context can make a different effect.
Yes,
Same
okay,
word.
okay. The same words in a different context can all of a sudden have a different, yeah, beautiful, exactly. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks to you.
Thank you, everybody. So we have a few minutes left that I wanted to shift. Please look at this as like the foundational aspect of meditation practice coming into your environment. is this mindfulness thing and everybody knows about it, so it's something that's good to get familiar with, even if it's not going to be your practice, that it's working with the mind-body continuum from the mind side. And that's an important element. So once we have this notion of working with the mind is something you can do, what about contouring our experience a little bit, shaping it, noticing the habits we have, and reshaping those? So that's also a very important part of the Buddhist practice, is how to recognize habitual patterns and then reshape them along a more optimal line. And it's very simple. Let's say you're grouchy, irritable, selfish, greedy, panicked, isolated, and those things are kind of recurring. Is there any way to cultivate a more loving, open, gentle, intelligent state of mind? Are we just hopeless? And do we have any control over that? So in the Buddhist way, once you find your mind, it's like a little doggy that follows you home, and then you start to train it. And how do you want to train it? Well, do you want to train your mind to be more of those things? More upset, more greedy, more afraid? So there's this beautiful, very simple other practice called loving kindness, which, Latika, you said you spoke about kindness earlier today. And thinking of it as a natural thing, it's in each of us. We hear each other's stories, and we want to help. We want to be kind to people. That's our most basic instinct, actually. But you can cultivate it, you can tune it up, you can bring it out. And that's called metta, which is in the Pali, that's a loving kindness practice. It's really simple. You just notice what you're thinking in your mind, and you just sort of shape it into a positive wish for yourself, for others. And this would be amazing, I think, to start a day if you were going to be working all day on a cure or working through some hard, challenging things. May all beings be happy. You could just say that. May all beings be happy. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't cost anything. And it starts to kind of filter through your consciousness as a kind of meme. It's a positive meme. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. Safety, look at the world right now. It's not safe for so many people, And you could say, well, wishing it doesn't change it, but it doesn't hurt. And it puts you in the right mind frame. Then when you go to do something, that's going to be your informative structure. May all beings be safe. Can you imagine if they said that at the UN? May all beings be safe. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. And the next one is may all beings be healthy. Hello. Just so you know, for a lay person like myself, who basically is doing their best to live a good life and make a better world, people who dedicate their lives like you do so that all beings can be healthy, this is a magic potion. But you can acknowledge it. May all beings be healthy. And you remember that's why you're doing your hard work. And then the fourth one in these loving kindness wishes is may all beings be at ease, free from stress and anxiety. So you don't work too hard at it. You just repeat those phrases. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at ease. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at ease. And one of the practices is just to repeat those phrases over and over. It's so simple. So let's just try one, if you don't mind. You don't have to, by the way. This is not, please feel free to think this is not for me. But in your mind, just think, may all beings be safe, and just repeat that phrase for a minute. And bring your mind to it. Your mind's going to wander, bring it back to just sending that wish out to the universe there. May all beings be safe. 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 May all beings be healthy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at ease. May all beings be at ease. So, this is called training the mind. Lojong, Tibetan word, lojong, training the mind. Train the body. I wouldn't have to get an argument here from anybody about going to the gym, right? We all get it. But arguably, your mind is a more precious asset because your body is impermanent. So I hope that's not too heavy-handed. It's meant in the sense of offering something that if you feel it's something you want to use, you can take it right from here and just go home with it. Maybe if there are just a couple of questions, and then we could wrap it up. And you can ask hard questions. Like, what? What? Be a scientist. Ask a tough question. All right, I have a question. Good.
So you said when you're thinking, when you're meditating, calm, you go to thinking, and then you come back.
Yeah.
I have a big problem coming back.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Gently.
I just go and go and go.
When you notice, there would be a moment which you notice. It could be like a long time, especially when you start. But when you notice, is there or not, there has to be a moment where you notice that you're thinking, right?
Yeah.
Now here's the discipline. Go back to the breath, don't go back to the thinking. But do it gently. Have you ever put a dish back up in the drawer gently?
Yes.
You don't have to throw it back in the cabinet. Just place it.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
It does. It's just very hard.
And then you know how to get to Carnegie Hall?
I don't.
Practice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Amigo.
Thanks for coming, David.
Gaurav, I will always come
Thank you.
for you, definitely.
Thank you. So this will come out as a funny question, but it's not funny. Okay. Have you noticed that when you start meditating for a long time, you lose your recent memory because you're always in the present? You start forgetting what happened yesterday or 2 days ago, or is that just me losing my memory?
Yeah, maybe you...
No, it's not supposed to. It's a serious question.
Yeah, no, I know you well enough to know that. Maybe it's time for a cognitive exam, or because I think right behind Joe Biden they have an opening. That was not meant to be a political statement. I'm from the cartoon section of the news, you know. Yeah. You know, one thing that my teacher used to say is that if you lose cognitive function as a result of meditating, then there would have to be an enlightenment ward in the hospital. You know, if enlightenment meant, or progression on the path of, meditation meant that you become less functional in some way, you lose functionality, that's probably problematical. So aside from whether you're, of course, you're a doctor, you have access to exploring all the parameters around that. But in general, the mind should become clearer and more lucid and vivid as opposed to more blank and opaque. You know, so sometimes we focus too hard on trying to quiet the mind and blank it out. And that's not the key to this particular practice. So, a lot of people will mistake that. Oh, if I could just quiet my mind, then I can be happy. That's just a mind with nothing moving in it at the moment, and it doesn't have any benefit. It should have clarity, so you should have a better memory, actually. Short-term, long-term, and even remembering some things that haven't happened yet.
I got a question. So I know you said be like present in the moment,
Yeah.
and but do you think the space around you at that time needs to be in a certain order, or just be present in the moment in that particular space?
That is a great question. Like, what's the implication? If we quiet down, what if we got 3 screaming kids in the next room, or some kind of emergency or something like that? So it has to be in sync with your environment, which means you have to take into account your environment, which means if you do have 3 kids, you might want somebody else to watch them while you're doing this. In other words, you have to set up the right causes and conditions for your practice to have some kind of container to it.
Which means we need a meditation space at Rocket. No.
You know, honestly, it's not for me to say. But what a great idea. Yeah.
Okay, I think we have a basement space left or a little bit, so we can have a meditation on.
Yeah, it doesn't take, and guess what? It doesn't have to be sonically sealed. There is no quiet space on Earth, by the way. There's a volcano on Maui that's pretty quiet, the top part of it. But there's going to be noise going on. If sense perceptions are happening, you just let them in and out. You just don't have to make a big deal about it. So it doesn't have to be a perfect place. And we don't need the perfect situation before we start practicing. Does that make sense? Yeah, you can get started where you are. But it's a really great question because we are part of a larger ecosystem, and this is part of that. So thank you for asking that.
Right here. One thing I'll say to that, when some days are really, really tough, you know the middle area in the back from Cranberry? It's a great place with those benches. So if you go there, if you see me there, that means it's really tough and I just need a few minutes to breathe and just be with nature. It ends up being a really good place for meditation as well. So David, I know I think I joined about a dozen of your classes when you did it during COVID, and I think our team really needed that because we were all struggling with this world shutting down and everything happening around us. And I really appreciated that you've joined over the Zoom and did all this stuff, and I think I was one of your worst students to a point where Guru used to call out, Kinnary has to log in and attempt no matter what. It's part of her job requirement. And I my name means serenity, but really it's like I was telling these guys, it's like an oxymoron. I couldn't shut it down. So that was a few years ago, 3 years ago. I don't know what it is in life now, but I feel like I can actually do this. Not 3 minutes, but a minute or two here and there. And I think what has helped is just realization that no matter how much you try, you're always busy, you're always running around, you're always juggling. And it's okay to be selfish for a few minutes and just sit there. And just being there for a few minutes by yourself allows you to just have a calmer presence and more ability to control how you're going to move about the rest of the day. So I did find that 3 years later, it did take an impact. So I would say I like the suggestion you gave to Anne that practice, practice, practice. It'll eventually happen.
Yeah.
I do see a benefit of that for myself. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's helpful. And my first thought was, if you do create that space and people do want to come and sit together, I'll come. I'll come sit with you sometimes when I can. You know, these are small movements. The world is made of, I think, I don't know if you said that small things add up and build up to a bigger thing. The details. So I want to thank you all for, indulging this conversation and allowing space and time in your continuum for it. And thank Gaurav, who is, I consider, personal family member, and his family is very close to me. and all the staff here and the team, and keep up the good work. So I thought I could just close with a little, it's kind of, I guess, an affirmation kind of, it's called a dedication of the merit or benefit to others. And that's really what this is about. So I'm just going to say it, and you can just take it in or not. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings experience joy and the happiness of others. May all beings remain in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, and ignorance. Thank you very much. Nice to be with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, David. Consciousness comes to those who are aware. And with that, I think there's a lot that we can practice and think about. I know I learned a great deal, so thank you today, David. We're going to take... Yes, dharmamoon.com. And actually, David wrote a book. Can you remind me of the title?
Creativity, spirituality, and making a buck.
David, he's underselling himself right now with that, but he's actually written a really great book that I bought on Audible. I listened to it 3 years ago when we first started, and I still have it. And I did a refresher as you know, we invited you here, and every time I listen to it, I learn something new. I pick up something new, and I think it's really beautiful.
Well, just come to dharmamoon.com, and we have lots of offerings that you can join in on.
Yeah. So with that, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back in about 15 minutes. There's some coffee, tea, and refreshments, and we'll come back for our closing. Thank you.